Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint Germain family. I'm tired talking about this. I get some vibes from, I don't know, Messi's uncertain future at Paris Saint Germain, Kylian Mbappe's uncertain future at Paris Saint Germain. With the amount of big reports and how much I need to update on the situation, we're already on the third video on the Nuno Mendes situation updated. But let's take a look at the recent report which dropped from Jamil, probably the most reliable PSG reporter, especially because he's a PSG fan as well, so he wouldn't want to spew any negative stuff about Paris Saint-Germain. Nuno Mendes' entourages are putting pressure on the player to leave PSG due to his low salary. So it's his entourage that's telling Nuno, you can find something better. Furthermore, Nuno Mendes is sometimes frustrated with his role with Luis Enrique. Sometimes he feels relieved to return for the national team, where it's more of a free role. And this report is obviously very big. It's enormous. So, to update on the entire situation, Nuno Mendes wants to leave, or at least is telling Paris Saint-Germain that he can see a future at another club because of the low wage we're offering to him. In the yesterday's video, you can go and rewatch it. I discussed the entire wage structure at Paris Saint-Germain and how, for example, the Warren extension has ruined a lot of stuff when it comes to the wage stuff. But what this report tells us, and why I also blamed Luis Enrique in the last video, and a lot of people commented, why did you blame Lucho? Well, because I knew this. Nuno Mendes was probably part of the freedom fighters at Paris Saint-Germain. The freedom fighters are the players that are tired of the systematic, disgusting football, by Luis Enrique. Nuno Mendes, a player that has been so consistent and one of our best players before Luis Enrique came in, has been some of a shadow of himself, mostly because of how Luis Enrique has been using him. The majority of this season and last season, mostly this season, it's sort of this centre-back, which makes you get like 50% of the Nuno Mendes value, and 50% you just remove it. And that's why the report's saying sometimes he feels relieved to return to the national team where he has more of a free role. And this doesn't just go for Nuno Mendes. This goes for majority of our players don't like to play in a system. Wow. Players that have great individual ability do not want to play in a system. And I absolutely love this from the players. I love that. I know it's complaining at the end of the day, and I'm always against complaining, but here it's rightful complaining. The football Luis Enrique wants and is trying to implement at Paris Saint-Germain cannot work at PSG. It can work at a soulless club like Arsenal or City or Chelsea, not Paris Saint-Germain. This is a club that has a big soul, that has maybe not as big personalities as we had before, but we still have more personalities than most other top big clubs in Europe. And you trying to force them to play in how you want to play instead of how they want to play will always come to this situation. What this tells us about is that Nuno Mendes wanting to leave PSG is because of two reasons. Is the wage, but then it's also how he's being used. He feels undervalued, and I completely understand that. We had a similar situation with Achraf Hakimi before Luis Enrique came in. Achraf Hakimi felt undervalued at Paris Saint-Germain, and now he's the best right back in the world. Nuno Mendes feels undervalued at the moment. Obviously, in the past maybe past 7 games, Nuno Mendes was playing more of an advanced role, but still not having, I think, the freedom he and any football player would expect. And I'm a bit worried, and as I said, the Luis Enrique stuff, man, I'm tired of it because I've never seen so many players be that much against a manager. How he wants to play, the philosophy that he has, and undervaluing and undermining his players because his system comes first. He is the man, he's the glory, he's the king, he's the Caesar, he's the dictator. And once again, I still can't understand how people are defending Luis Enrique. When you have one player complaining, blame the player. When you have 2 players complaining, blame the players. When you have 3, blame the players. When you have majority of the squad, majority of your best players complaining about Luis Enrique, Dembouz complained, Fabian complained, Donnarumma complained, Nuno complained, Barcola complained, Asensio complained. So many players that have been complaining about Luis Enrique, but people still don't want to understand it. But yeah, to finalize and summarize this Nuno Mendes situation, Nuno is pressuring Paris Saint-Germain for a better offer, but he's also now putting out his frustration about Luis Enrique's disgusting systematic football, which has to be worked, which has to be fixed, which has to continue to be tweaked, and giving more freedom to the players. But yeah, Let's hope this all gets resolved as soon as possible. Let's hope we start getting some positive news around the Nuno Mendes situation. And let's hope Paris Saint Germain start offering more to Nuno Mendes because he deserves it. He's been a starter for every single season has been at PSG. He signed for a very low fee with a very low wage. He's compensated a lot. Now it's time to give him back. And one thing I'm very happy with, it looks like majority of the PSG fans agree with this statement, agree that Nuno Mendes deserves higher. There are obviously the minorities, the anomalies that says, oh, let's get Theo, let's get this. Just very, very disrespectful people and people that do not know the value of having a player of Nuno Mendes' capabilities and will regret this decision for, the coming years. That's been it from your boy PS Gent. Hopefully the situation gets resolved. And as usual, allez, allez, allez Paris.